There is such an expression, without brakes. It applies both to a car and to a person.
I think the meaning is clear to everyone.
In my story, two meanings of brakes were used at once, my wife Angelina and her car.
It became the reason that we are not together today.
In my life, there are 3 hobbies for the sake of which I am ready to give up all my business: fishing, hunting, and cars.
We gathered a group of like-minded people.
Besides me, it was Sergey, Nikita, and COULDN. We go out into the forest, we choose a more difficult route. Well, it was.
Meeting with Angelina happened a little over 3 years ago.
She came to the driving school where I trained beginners, working as an instructor. When she first sat in the cockpit of a training car, she had a figure and beautiful features of the face. I was older than my new student by about 5 years, but nevertheless looking forward to new lessons with her. She was doing well, and the question of successfully passing the exam was a matter of time. One day I plucked up the courage to ask her out on a date. She smiled and said yes, and so our relationship began.
A year later, we got married. The wedding was very fun. Of course, I invited Sergey, Nikita, and Kolya. The latter was my witness.
A lot of water with Angelina, and I was influenced by the fact that she got married early and did not have much fun. Always before the next outing, there was a verbal foreplay: honey, we'll go with the girls, and I'll rest for now. But I did not like all this. Therefore, I always objected to your partying.
You always end up drunk. And we don't have children, not because we can't, but because you don't want to. Angelina knew I loved her and wouldn't interfere. I trusted her. I didn't think she was capable of cheating. And after her return, there was a strong smell of alcohol in the flat, and my wife was sitting on the sofa with my SUV and a small car. My wife started to say that it's time to change the car for Valechka. Well, she's honestly worked for her pension. It's time to squeeze in.
Well, I bring the girls from work, so we crammed in like a tin can. Well, it's just impossible to breathe periodically. I had a thought that it's time to heckle. But a new car, but new antics with sleeping and hunting. You'd better choose a party or a new car.
My wife objected. How is it connected? Any man has the right to rest. Well, you don't deny yourself hunting and fishing. This bickering became more and more frequent. Angelina began to disappear from home.
A few times a week she returned.
Well, and then we quarreled again.
I began to think about divorce. No matter how young she was, tender feelings for wife began to slowly fade into contempt. I wanted a family hearth with a loving wife and children, and do not comply. I did not have to divorce her.
At the end of July, Angelina disappeared. She didn't come back from the party.
She said she was going there with her friends, but her friends didn't go out that night. She wasn't in the hospitals or morgues, and 3 days later I went to the police.
My wife disappeared.
My wife was searched not only by law enforcement agencies but also by volunteers, and Angelina was found a week later.
One of the underwater fishing enthusiasts found a car at the bottom of the river.
In it, besides my wife, there were 2 bodies.
In the cabin, there was my friend Kolya, a witness at our wedding.
They were both naked in the blood of both of them. Experts found alcohol in my wife and her lover. Having stopped the car on the edge of the cliff near the river, they forgot to put the handbrake on it. Apparently, in the process of making love, the car rolled and fell into the pond. The depth near the bank was.
Angelina and Kolya apparently didn't have time to react and open the door. By the way, Nikita was also in Kolya and Kolya's car. That's how my marriage ended. I hope it was not the last one.
I feel very sorry for Angelina, but she has only herself to blame for her death.